Press continue. Welcome, everyone. I'm Melanie.
I'm Scotty O, and we are Ecstatic Hearts.
Good to see all of you guys joining us today.
Yeah, thrilled to see you. If you don't have a journal or a notebook, you might want to grab one with a pen or pencil. And while we're waiting for people to come in, why don't you guys share on the chat here where you guys are all from?
So you can unmute yourselves and talk and say who you are and where you're from if you like.
But that will be recorded, just so you know, or you can do the chat.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, from Italy.
Italy.
Welcome.
Awesome. Welcome.
Sweden here.
Yeah, jump on in
I see
and read who we got. Belgium, we've got Canada, Alberta,
Boston, New Jersey, more Boston.
We're from Austin, Texas. If you guys
live
United
from
States.
Austin.
Yeah. Where else are you guys from? We got South Africa. Wow, that's cool.
Great. It's great to be part of a One World Festival, coming together in unity and connection and love at this time when all of that's needed most.
Yeah. So you want to jump in?
Yeah. All right. So we are going to get started by just taking a moment to check in, being mindful, closing our eyes, and noticing what we're feeling and experiencing in our bodies.
Yeah, awareness is one of the key practices of Tantra. So just close your eyes, just take a deep breath. And just check in and notice how you're feeling. We're going to see how you feel before and after this experience. Any sensations, any emotions, any thoughts? We're just going to calm down and make sure that we are all present. Explain that.
All right, and then we're going to take a moment now to get grounded with the tantric practice of the Aum. The Aum is actually one of my favorite practices. We do this all the time. The Ah connects into our heart, opening and awakening the heart. The U awakens our sex, and the our minds.
So it's kind of like the Om, except it's the female version, where the Om is the masculine version. So it's Aum. If you want to use your hands and put it over your different chakras or energy centers, you can do that if you like. And it doesn't have to all be in unison. It can blur and blend together. Right?
Right. So we want to take a moment to feel each other and kind of feel the energy of the group. So if you're willing to, everybody can press the unmute button, and we're going to do a nice Aum wave, and we'll let you know to bring it to a close, and then we can mute ourselves again. Sound good?
So go ahead and everyone, go ahead and unmute yourself if you like. You either hold the space button down or space bar down, or just go ahead and click off mute.
Great. All right. And taking a deep breath, we're going to make a long, juicy, drawn out Aum, and we're going to do it several times.
All right, here we go. Let's hear you. If you're just joining, you can unmute. Just follow along with an Aum. Just notice, and you can go back to muting, but just notice how you feel. always helps me feel a little more grounded, a little more present, a little more connected. All right. Well, let's jump right in. Today's class is about manifesting miracles using Tantra tools. So before we jump into that, this sounds like a pretty airy-fairy kind of topic. But I have to say that I was a pretty conservative person. I'll just tell you a little bit of background about us. So I got into Tantra about 25 years ago, and I was a corporate workaholic managing Friskies cat food. I was doing 100-hour weeks, and I was very conservative and didn't really believe in all this woo-woo stuff at all. And when I basically was just a premature ejaculator who was trying to get better at sex, and I didn't really think much about the spiritual part. I didn't really believe a lot of what people were telling me were possible. But I went in, and there was something about it, I was hugging a guy for the first time, and it didn't feel too weird. And like we were connecting and really talking about like real stuff. And I was having a more authentic connection than I had with most of the people in my life at the time. And so I just started doing some of the basics, the breathing, moving, some stuff that seemed pretty simple. And I learned some pretty cool stuff. But then I didn't really practice it, just like anything else, like martial arts or dancing, whatever. Tantra is a practice. So you can have pretty amazing experiences out of something like a weekend like this, but it's your real benefits of it. The real miracles are going to happen when you start incorporating it. And it's simple, easy stuff, but incorporating it into your daily life. So then when this amazing person came along, and I was able to, we were able to create a pretty strong energetic connection. And so we were able to use Tantra in our lovemaking to move this energy in like a circuit. And whereas before, I'd make love and then want to go to sleep and so forth, I was able to send my energy into her, and she was able to feel it, send it back into me. And I was like, whoa. And then she would send it, and then it goes a circle, and it would just get better and bigger and better. And then really crazy things started happening, because my chakras started opening. I started really getting into the amazing benefits of it. And just for our love life, just as an example, right in the beginning, it was like, oh my God, this is great. This is, what people talk about, how great lovemaking can be. And then like a month later, it's like, holy cow, it got better. I didn't know it could get better. And then a month after that, it was like, holy crap, no one told us this was possible. And it's been like that for about 10 years, where it's gotten better and better and better every month. And if you think about that, that's kind of crazy. And then in the last 2 years, we've gotten more spiritual. And I'd say that, our lovemaking is still pretty amazing. But now I'm delving into all sorts of realms where I'm really connecting with source and my divine, self, and one with the universe, and all sorts of amazing experiences we'll get a little more into. But that's how I got into Tantra. And so if you're skeptical about this stuff, if you don't really believe in anything I'm talking about, I understand, and I'm not asking you to believe me. I'm asking you to try this stuff on for yourself and see for yourself what happens, because everyone's journey is unique. You want to tell a bit?
Yeah, so I'll tell you a little bit about my journey into Tantra. I've always been an embodied and artistic person. I started dancing at 3, and I've been into dancing and embodiment practices and artistic practices pretty much my entire life. When I was 19, going to school at the University of Texas in Austin, I actually took a training the speaking voice class, which turned out was a very tantric class. It was basically like using Tantra for becoming a more empowered, confident, powerful speaker. And from then on, I've been using the tools I learned then and adding to the toolbox, just to give you an idea that Tantra is not just about the love life and great sex and all that juicy stuff we love to talk about, but it's also for things like opening up your voice, gaining confidence, feeling empowered, getting rooted and grounded, and learning how to move in the world from a place of empowerment, groundedness, rootedness, and from a place of being heard and being powerful in leadership.
So we've been together for 12 years now, and married for, I guess, 11 now. And we've been teaching full-time for about 6 years now, and we love it. And this is the most amazing thing ever. So we are dedicated to sharing the secrets of Tantra, as well as new technologies and things that are being learned all the time, and to help us all evolve quicker and have more fun in this life. So by the way, if you want to share, feel free to make comments, and we'll try to incorporate your questions into our presentation. And so feel free to type along if you have anything at all that you want to ask along the way. All right, so let's talk about what are some of the actual miracles. When we talk about miracles, what exactly are we talking about? So these are some actual things that we ourselves have experienced and or our students have experienced. So let's talk about money. You know, most people don't think about money much, but you can actually use Tantra to manifest material stuff. We've had people that have, one lady was granted a house, someone gave her $1 million home. Another person, we have had lots of money in different ways come out. Another person got rid of $200,000 of credit card debt. One other person got lots of people got new jobs. One of my friends got a $40,000 raise a week after she started. So lots of things like that are possible. Health is huge. Like, you know, our mind-body connection is so important, and people underestimate how debilitating things like stress and whatnot can be on the system. And so we've seen people that have cured hearing, been able to walk again. We have people that have just miraculously recovered from all sorts of illnesses. I mean, I think this is one of the best defenses against COVID, really, is to, you know, make sure your immune system is healthy and vigorous, you know, and then just energy. Gosh, I've gotten so much more energy than I thought moving through my body. It's pretty extraordinary. Feel free to type in what your benefits and so forth you've gotten too.
The benefits?
Yeah, benefits of Tantra.
All right.
Miracles that our students and stuff have gotten.
Yeah. So let me
Relationships.
think. We already talked about the whole becoming more empowered, confident, energized, grounded, which are great benefits. And of course, for my love life and sex life, before I met this man and started practicing some of the other tantric practices, I was pre-orgasmic, even though I had very dedicated lovers who really wanted to help me be orgasmic. I really didn't know what an orgasm was until this one came along, and I started doing tantric practices with him, and it just opened my world. It was like, and then I wasn't in the question of what is an orgasm anymore. I had some ideas about it.
Well, and it goes way beyond that. I mean, just in the realm of lovemaking, it opens up a whole new world. Like we've actually had to create a new language, because you start having different types and ways of orgasming and like levels and so forth. So like we have like body part orgasm, so an eargasm or a toegasm, or we have like tastegasms, soundgasms, you know, things that,
Booby-gasms.
you know, energetic, basically these amazing energetic rushes and experiences from all sorts of different things. We've had oblivigasms. We've had like, it's kind of crazy because it's like a whole nother world. And it goes, I'd say, just give you perspective, I'll take for myself. I'll take my best orgasm ever, which was, I think, fairly normal at the time. And then, you know, I multiply it not by 2 or 4 or 5 times, but like 10 times, like 10 times more powerful than anything I ever experienced before. And it didn't just last seconds or minutes. It lasted hours, you know, and then you can be in an orgasmic state. You go from being multi-orgasmic as a male or a female or anything in between, or doesn't really matter what your gender is. You can also be in these constant states of orgasm where everything is orgasmic, and you can like play with the level of how much you want to be. Because if I'm really high level, I can't really move, and I'm like a quivering, you know, ball on the ground. But you can, like, I just want to be at a low level orgasm while I'm going to my meeting, you know. So there's all different things you can do from energy, you know. So we've also seen relationships, you know. It's like we've had marriages that have been healed. We've had marriages sometimes have broken up so that there's something even better available. But, you know, for me personally, it's enabled me to feel, give, and receive love at a level I didn't even know was possible. It's truly opened up my heart in just profound, amazing ways. And it helps you be a better person, you know, helps you be more empathetic. You know, you actually can start reading people's minds. And actually, you know, if you don't believe in psychic abilities, in one of our weekends, we actually show you on Sunday just how psychic you are. But it helps you in extraordinary ways. You want to talk about superpowers or quite a while?
I just want to say one thing, that before I learned Tantra, even though I was actually a very happy person, very embodied, present, all the things, once I learned Tantra, it felt like my before Tantra life was black and white. After I learned Tantra, it's like it opened up all the realms of color. And as we continue on the tantric path, it's like more and more color and light is visible to us. That's what it feels like in terms of what opens up for us energetically, as far as our senses and what we can feel and sense, love making, orgasmically, just relationship wise, how good our relationship is. This relationship is like exponentially better than any previous relationship I had. And my previous relationships I thought were pretty good.
Yeah. See who else is share. If you guys have stuff that you've gotten out to Tantra, feel free to share. And while doing that, I also will share that.
Oh, and I just want to make a note to remind people that this video is being recorded. So if at any time you choose to share verbally, your verbal share will be on there, or you can share via chat and we will just relay the sharing or answer the questions.
Yeah.
But your pictures won't be on any recording.
Yeah. Chat's probably the easiest at this point. And then spiritually, you know, that's one of the things that I think people forget, that this is a spiritual practice. And what I mean by that is that I now have a direct experience with the divine. Like I actually know, I don't have to even have faith because I know God exists. I know that there's a higher level of existence. I know my soul is eternal because I've felt it. Like I've had a visceral experience of it. I've had experiences where I've become one with the universe. I've, you know, been able to like talk to past lives or have memories of them or have reunions with people who remember our past lives together. I didn't believe in past lives till this year. You know, it's like all sorts of just amazing, crazy stuff happens, but it really opens you up to a whole new world. And anyway, so I highly recommend it. There's lots of things you can get out of it, and the miracles are up to you. So anything else you want to say before we jump into anyone else you want to share?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So again, any questions and answers, go ahead and type them in before we do a breakout exercise.
More benefits of Tantra?
That was it. Anything else you want to say?
Oh, yeah. I had some more I wanted to share on the benefits of Tantra. In addition to what we've talked about, Tantra practices are amazing just for our health and well-being.
Yeah.
Like during this time currently of so much unrest and so much uncertainty and isolation, Tantra is what really helps to keep me grounded and centered. And even I sometimes slip into depression because I'm an extrovert. So this whole isolation thing and not connecting with people in person, not so much my thing, definitely not working for me. But it's those Tantra practices of going back and doing our practice that's like, oh, I feel so good now. Why was I in resistance to doing our Tantra practice? It really helps to let go of all those charged emotions, to activate my body, activate my energy, activate my libido, activate all my juiciness, and move out of lower states of inaction or depression or sadness or whatever I'm experiencing, and helps me to move through tough emotions or triggered aspects.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, during this whole COVID crisis, I was definitely super triggered for a bit there, maybe a week or two. And we were having strife in our relationship due to me feeling triggered, in part because of our relationship, but mostly because of everything that's been going on. And then we just do our Tantra practice, and it's like, oh, why didn't we do this earlier?
Yeah, the best time to do a practice is when you probably don't feel like doing it. And that's the advantage of getting into a habit. Like by making this a simple, easy habit, you do 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, you're up to 30 or whatever, then it really starts to improve your life. Okay. Yeah. So we're going to want to hear from you. So what we're going to do now is we're getting ready to jump into a breakout room. And so we're going to split you up into groups of 2 or 3. And we're going to give you just a few minutes, about 2 minutes each, to share what are the miracles you want in your life. So, you know, you can pull from any of the things we just shared, or just really go within and say, what are the miracles that you want in your life now, in your health, in your wealth, in your well-being, relationships, spirituality, whatever it is, and just share. And by the way, when you're doing this is one person's going to be sharing, the other person or people are going to just listen. And they're going to like be enthusiastic, open listeners, right? And so this is not the time to self-edit or be modest or, you know, worry about how, whatever. Just let out your inner child. Just dream a little bit and just share from your heart that like, these are all the things that I'd like to have. Make sense? And feel free to, again, journal and take notes throughout this thing if you want to. Okay, so any questions before we split you up into groups? We're going to put you into breakout groups. Again, you're each going to have 2 minutes, and we'll send a little reminder when your 2-minute mark is for each of you to share your miracles that you want with the other people in your group. Okay? And if you could go ahead and do that for us, we'll go into breakout rooms now. Yeah. Pescar?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm here.
okay, great.
They're good.
We're getting breakdown. All right.
Yep.
All right, if you could again just send them the 2-minute mark, that'd be great. They can't hear us right now, correct?
No, they can't.
Okay. So just the
This because I'm looking so distracted.
all right. So we're back. Everyone just take a breath.
Okay.
You can go ahead and put yourselves back on mute. And all right, so let's talk a little bit about the history of miracles. So miracles have actually been around forever. You know, it's like it's something that we tend to dismiss, I think, in our logical society and whatnot. But you know, spiritual icons, gurus, you know, religious leaders. There's been actually recorded incidences of miracles of all sorts of different types throughout all of history, and they're still happening. And you know, it's interesting because Tantra is, I think, one of the most powerful ways to manifest things that you want. And I believe that the secret societies, the people in power and so forth that have taken and used these secrets throughout the millennia have consciously and purposely kind of withheld them from the masses because they were so powerful. And now in the days of age of the internet and, you know, more and more knowledge being spread, it's time for there to be a Tantra awakening. And this is one of the things we're so excited about with this festival. And I think a lot of these best kept secrets and tools are coming out along with a lot of science and so forth. Things like metaphysics and whatnot are proving a lot of the thoughts and beliefs that the masters have had throughout thousands of years. So just a couple of examples. Napoleon Hill wrote a book called Think and Grow Rich. If you aren't familiar with this, this is actually one of the first books that was written on basically the most successful people. Andrew Carnegie was the richest person in the world at the time, said, hey, I want you to spend 20 years researching all the most powerful people, successful people in the world, and find out what they all had in common. And that was actually the birth of the personal development movement in the West. And that's where some of these things that we're sharing with you first got kind of become more normal in the Western culture. And then look at things such as movies like The Secret is probably, many of you probably seen that. It's about how to manifest things. And then like What the Bleep, it talks about metaphysics and how things, like our minds are more powerful than we thought. They're not just receivers of information, they're actually creators of reality. Anyway, so one of the cool things about Tantra is that, you know, there's two big things that help you manifest miracles. One is your focus and your thoughts. The other is your emotions and your energy. And Tantra is actually the utilization of your sexual energy, which is like the most powerful untapped resource that we use. You know, mostly people are just like splurting it out in the ether and whatnot. But if you tap into that and use it to move it through your body, open your channels, and then, you know, focus it on the things that you want, that's sex magic. That's actually helps you manifest things much more quickly and with fun and grace and ease than a lot of people are doing. So we're going to talk about exactly how to do that.
And that's actually known, Tantra is called considered a practice of sexual alchemy, because we are utilizing our sexual energy to move through our bodies, to expand our prana or our chi, and to become more powerful beings who can more powerfully manifest what we put our intention on. And so it's one of the what's the word I'm looking for? Accelerated paths to enlightenment, because we're working with our most powerful energies.
I like the voice. Horrible, isn't it? You like the voice?
Watch this, yeah. Okay, so also, you know, the fun thing about it is, like, I'm generally a pretty lazy person, and I've tried a lot of other spiritual paths. I've, you know, done Buddhism and so forth. I actually traveled around the world, and like I meditated for 3 days till blood came out of my head and whatnot. And the thing is that it was a lot of work. It was hard for me. But lovemaking and just adding a few breaths is something I could do again and again and again. So it's fun and it's easy to practice. And, you know, it's not just lovemaking, but you can incorporate these type of practices with sex, which just makes it, I think, intuitively rewarding to practice. But okay, so let's give you the formula for miracles. All right, you guys ready for this? So feel free to take notes. It's a pretty simple formula. It's the 4 F's. The 4 F's to bring you the 4 for miracles. 1 is faith. So it's faith. 2 is focus. 3 is feel. And 4 is follow through. Follow through. So I'm going to go into each one of these. So faith, focus, feel, and follow through. All right, so I like alliteration because it helps you remember. So let's talk about faith. First of all, don't let this word like throw you, because I know a lot of people are like anti-religious or whatever. I'm not talking about blindly believing in a God or whatever. What I'm talking about is belief. The belief that you can have the miracles that you want. And you got to start with this, because whether you believe something is true or you believe it's not true, it is so. Your mind is so powerful that if you don't believe something is possible, then it's not going to happen no matter what you do. So the first thing you really have to do is open up your mind and believe that some of these things are possible. You know, we have, we had all these amazing, crazy experiences. And what we noticed is when we taught our students, they actually achieved them in a lot quicker, like sometimes 10 times faster or more than we did. And I think it's because, I don't think it's because we're such great teachers as much as it's that they knew that what we were talking about was possible because we had that experience, and therefore they're able to know what they're going for. They know where to aim, you know? It's kind of like the 4-minute mile. You know, if you guys don't know the story, it was like basically people thought the 4-minute mile for hundreds of years, if not all of recorded history, was impossible. Like a human couldn't run faster than 4 minutes. And then I think it was Roger Hamilton or something did that. And I'm sorry, not Roger Hamilton, sorry. I forget the guy's name. Anyway, when
some really awesome dude did that.
Roger Bannister, sorry. When Roger Bannister did that, he basically broke the record, and then immediately after, like within almost a month and a half later, someone else broke the record, and more people broke the record. And now I think the fastest is like 3.48 seconds or 3 minutes and 4.48 seconds. You know, the point is that hundreds of people have now broken the record, all because they knew it was possible. So the first thing you got to do is believe that the things you want are possible. If you don't, they're not going to happen. So let's see. You want to add anything on that? Nope.
No.
Okay. So there's 2 ways to also help make these things happen. One is repetition. Okay. Here's the problem: is that our subconscious brain actually controls our lives, not our conscious brain. And for those of you who aren't familiar with this, when we're younger, actually before 7, we're more open to like learning, and we actually learn our habits, we learn our belief system, we learn our values and so forth, like 90% of them before we're 7 years old. And then they get kind of solidified, and then they become like an automatic program that runs our lives. And so most of us, when we're talking about are people aligned or awake, the main thing I think of is, are you aware of the fact that you have programs running in your background that are running your life, you know, that are actually dictating your actions? Because most people are so unconscious that someone will say or do something, it'll trigger their automatic story, and then they'll react. And sometimes if you're in a relationship, like I'll react because I'll be upset and I'll say something that triggers her, and then you'll
react?
Yeah, she'll react, and then she'll say something triggers me, and then we got like a trigger tornado. Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. If anyone ever been in any kind of, you know, trigger tornado, yeah, it's a very human thing to do.
The good old classic is, don't use that tone with me. Well, you're using that tone with me. we had that one on the way down.
So no matter how evolved you are, by the way, there's always more to grow. So the point is that we all have these challenges, but what you want to do is you want to train your subconscious, and that's the tricky part, because it's unconscious or subconscious. So the conscious controls about 5% of the brain. Your subconscious controls, or your actions, the subconscious controls 95% of your actions and your feelings and emotions. But Tantra is one of the ways you can control this. So the first thing you want to do is awareness. Like you really need to be aware, and we'll get into that in the focus part, but you have to notice what's happening in your body. And you know, there's 2 ways to do this. There's basically repetition or motion are the 2 ways to train your subconscious, right? And so some of the tools that you can use to train your brain is you can use journaling. You know, so I recommend doing that. Like also writing actually with a pen helps with your brain more than it does typing it in. So actually writing with a blue pen on white paper is the best, they say. And then you can do things like affirmations. You know, when we met each other, I was looking for the love of my life. as you were. And what we did is we wrote down exactly what we wanted. I had like a vision board, which is basically we have pictures and photos to help evoke the images, but I had my list of everything. And people were like, are you kidding me? No one's going to meet all these things. Like if you're going to put, and I put in, people were saying, if you share that, you're going to scare people away. And I was like, screw it. I put it on MySpace and I put it out there. And it kind of ages me. I put it out there and boom, voila, you know, and she met every single thing on my list. And
I saw the list before our first date. I stalked him on MySpace, read up his profile, saw the list that was this long scrolling, and I'm like, ooh, check. Wow, he's looking for me. And I'm like, man, this one might be the one. I was very excited. So then I saw those vision boards. I'm like, oh, it's like you wrote a spell to draw me to you.
Right, so these are tools, again, where you're training your subconscious brain. So again, repetition and emotion. So another thing about this is like there's affirmations, there's meditation, you know, is one of the key things, binaural beats, things that help you tap into your subconscious. You can do hypnosis. You can even make like movies about yourself. But I'll give you a couple of quick books that I recommend. One is called Feel Free to Prosper by Marilyn Jennett. What I like about her is that she actually shows you that you have to step by step train your subconscious. And you kind of feel into, am I really feeling this is true or not? Because if your subconscious is saying, oh, this is bullshit, you can say an affirmation all day long, but if you don't believe it at some level, then it's not going to work. Another book I really think is great is called Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. All this stuff is good. The cool thing about him is that he takes a lot of this he takes a lot of the Eastern knowledge and experience and he translates it in Western speak, and he uses modern science and technology, and you know, he measures how your meditation works and how, you know, chakras move energy and whatnot. And so if you're one of these people that's kind of skeptical, and one of the reasons that I'm sharing these books and experience so forth is because I'm training your subconscious brain to believe that this stuff is possible. And so that's what you need to do. You have to believe it's possible. So visualization is another great way of basically feeling that these things are true. But I like to use a different word called experientialization. It's not just visualizing it, but you want to close your eyes and go into a 3D experience. You want to, like for instance, if I'm attracting the love of my life, let's say a second love of my life, I don't know, I'm going to basically be going into that experience. I'm going to be visualizing everything that's happening in all directions. I'm going to be hearing what they're going to say. Maybe they're whispering sweet nothings in my ear. Maybe we're feeding each other food, so I'm tasting the food, I'm smelling. You know, the more you can evoke the senses, and more importantly, the emotions, the more you can evoke your emotions around your vision or your belief, then the quicker you're going to attract it. It's got the focus equals power. So the more you can focus, the more you're going to laser in on it, and the emotion and the charge is what manifests it. So that brings us to the other part. So if you have any questions or comments on that, can you read it?
Yeah, no comments.
No comments, okay. So the first part is faith or belief. You have to believe. Okay, so the second part is focus. So I've been alluding to these already, but the main thing is focus. You know, again, you know, so many of us are running around, you know, for me anyway, I tend a lot of times is like I get into patterns and I spin out, and if I feel stressed or whatnot, I would like work more, and then I'd like burn myself out, get exhausted and whatnot. What I found lately actually is much more powerful for me is the busier things get, the more I slow down. Like the more I meditate, the more I say, okay, what is the one thing that I can do today that makes everything else easier or unnecessary? I write that down too. This is for the book, The One Thing. So, you know, again, instead of trying to do 10 things or do all the things that I used to do, what is my one right action? What am I being called to do through my body that I think is really going to work? So if I'm getting to the emotions of what I want and I'm clear on what I want, then my emotions, my feeling, my body will show me the way. I mean, so much in our culture, we're like taught that the brain is the key. If we just listen to our thoughts, it kind of fixes everything. But it's really the body has wisdom. You know, trust your gut, follow your heart. Your body is the access to the superconscious, the greater wisdom of everything that's out there. And so, so focus. So this is where awareness, the most powerful, most important Tantra practice, I think, is awareness. Buddha called this mindfulness, which is, all the rage in corporate America. What we, in our lineage, is called witness consciousness, but it's basically the practice of noticing what you're experiencing while you're fully experiencing it. So it's not about like focusing like on a movie where you forget what's going on with your body. And it's not about getting so in your head that you stop having the experience. It's about really fully experiencing it. And it's important as a tantrika to fully feel your feelings. We'll get to in a minute. But you have to fully experience it and notice what's going on. So that if she says something that triggers me and I'm like getting upset, I'm like, oh, look, I'm getting angry. And I'm still feeling anger. But while I'm experiencing, I say, okay, maybe I need to go outside and walk it off, or like get my anger out of my body. Or maybe I can just say, okay, what am I committed to? It's to love, and I can shift. But you don't have access to shifting. You don't have access to change until you notice what is running you and what your stories are. And your awareness is the only thing that's going to help you make choices and be awake. Do you want to share anything about that?
No, you're doing good.
Okay, I'll keep going. So it's about intention. It's about intention. So one of the things we do in our practice, and we're going to do a practice here in a little bit, and actually practice this, is what are your intentions? What's your intention for the day? What is your intention for the week, the year? Be clear on what you want. And so many times I see people don't know what they want, and then they're upset that they didn't get it. If you don't know what you want, no one else is going to be able to figure it out, So make sure, because you have to send your energy in a clear direction. So,
and with intentions don't always have to be these big, grand things. You can do simple, easy intentions, or they might not seem easy to you, but they can be simple. Like some of the simple intentions I like to start with is, my intention is just to be present. Or my intention is to feel connected and loving with my partner. Or my intention is to get grounded. So you can have simple intentions as well as you can have big, grand intentions. Like, my intention is for the world to be peaceful and healthy and to everybody love everybody.
Yeah. And I think one of the things I believe or determined through this is that we're all connected, and some of the best ways I can make an impact on the world is to make an impact on myself. Like if I can bring my own energy and raise my own vibration and be happy and content and loving, that will naturally spread out to other people. And so, you can't take care of other people if you're confused or suffering yourself. So make sure that you take care of your own needs, and then you have an abundance to like share with others. And so what Melanie's talking about too is like celebrating the little things is really important, because if you're only looking for the big wins, like if I'm only going to be happy once I have $1 million or I have the love of my life or whatever, then you're not really celebrating the juiciness of life that's happening. I mean, we're really living in heaven right here, right now. There has never been a better time to be alive or a better place. And it's like, this is an extraordinary opportunity. And what I encourage you to do is really come at it with gratitude. Let's talk about gratitude for a second. Gratitude is how we start all of our practices. It's actually one of the most powerful emotions that you can use. Not only is it a very high vibration and it helps bring you a greater state of joy, but it's also the emotion of already having what you want, right? So there's two powerful ways to use gratitude that most people don't. One is that you can be grateful for all the little things that are happening. It's like I'm grateful I'm breathing right now. The things we kind of take for granted. I'm grateful I had a good meal today. And like really, and like get into it, like feel it.
I'm grateful there's this gorgeous orchid right here.
As well as thinking about things that you maybe don't have yet, being grateful as if it already happens. Like, I'm grateful that I've manifested millions of dollars, because I don't have that yet. And I believe it's coming, and the more I can be grateful as if I already have that, the more I can vibrate the frequency of I already am rich, then the quicker that'll manifest to me. And so, I got a little more practice to do. But so, gratitude is key. And, they've done studies on this. If you're someone who likes statistics and whatnot, just look it up online. There's like literally hundreds of studies, and gratitude has been linked to decreasing stress, improving health, increasing relationships, saving marriages, improving your charisma, improving your career, your patience, decreasing stress, increasing sleep, you're recovering from abuse, exercise, happiness, decreasing depression. I mean, you name it. It's like a cure-all.
Yeah. It's a really great practice in relationship with a partner to speak your gratitudes for each other. So this is one of the my favorite practices I like to recommend for couples is every day, either when you wake up in the morning, maybe when you're sharing a meal together as your prayer for the meal, or before you begin a lovemaking session, to just be in a space of gratitude for your partner in all the ways, big and small, and to speak them, to share them, because it never gets old to be on the receiving side. And whenever you speak them, you're reminding yourself what you love, adore, and are grateful about in your partner. And it just helps to come back into that loving connection of love, adoration, harmony, all the good stuff in relationships.
Yeah, I know a couple of people that have done this. And one of my friends was breaking up with his significant other. And they'd been together for a while. And he's saying, I made the biggest mistake of my life. How can I win her back? And he basically wrote a love note. And he included something he was grateful for in her, for her every day for like 30 days. Another friend of mine had a journal. And every day he would write down a new thing. And you know, he sent the letters and so forth. They ended up getting back together. They got married. It dramatically improved the relationship. And it wasn't even the receiver part that really enhanced the relationship. It was in the doing of the gratitude. Both of the men who were writing the notes, they transformed their own love and appreciation for them. It's like, oh, like instead of like getting on each other about the toilet seat or whatever, let's remind each other what I'm grateful for, you know, what I love about you every day. And so the more you condition yourself to gratitude, it's kind of like you're rewiring your neural network with neuroplasticity. So the more you practice these higher emotions, these, you know, and experiencing gratitude, the easier it'll get to be there, and the more you're able to get there easily, and so that you can, you know, stay in this state of gratitude, and that frequency will again attract more of what you want. So if you want more money, be grateful for the money you have. You want more health, be grateful for the health you have. You know, start that process, and that'll attract more.
Yeah. And this man here, he's pretty awesome. He writes me a love note spouting all the things he loves, adores, and is grateful for about me, for every occasion that you could have. I have like this huge collection. Sometimes he turns them into songs and sings them to me. And it's not like he's a singer or anything. And it's adorable and I love it. And let me tell you, 12 years and counting, it never gets old.
Yeah. So again, if you have any comments or questions, feel free to just jump those in. So that was all the focus. It's important.
There was a question from M. Could you read that out? I can read that out for you. Isn't too much focus paying attention to absence?
What's it?
Isn't too much focus paying attention to absence?
Absence?
No, because if you're thinking about what you don't have, that would be paying attention to absence. Why don't I have a car? Why don't I have a house? Why don't I have a relationship? But putting that word of I don't is paying attention to absence. If you're putting attention in a positive manner, it's more like drawing something to you that you desire, and it's putting it in your mind to pay attention to opportunities as they present themselves.
Yeah, this is important because your subconscious mind does not understand no. It doesn't understand negative. So if you say, don't think of pink elephants, don't think of pink elephants, don't think of pink elephants, we're all trying to think of pink elephants because that's the only thing your brain understands. So whenever you're speaking of an affirmation or you're putting a belief into your subconscious when you're writing it down, etc., you want to put it in positive tense as if it already happened. And you don't want to think about one day I hope to have money and so forth, because that's actually reinforcing the absence or the not having it. What you want to focus on is, doesn't it feel great to be rich? Like, imagine already having the money. Imagine already having the health. Like, doesn't my body feel vibrant and healthy today? And really focus on how great you feel. And that'll manifest more of the same. Yeah. So it's an important
So like in our current climate with the whole COVID crisis, if we're going around thinking about, I don't want to get sick, I don't want to get sick, COVID's everywhere, oh my God, germs are everywhere, oh my God, I'm going to like put germs in my face, I'm going to breathe the COVID in anywhere I go, that's enforcing it, or I don't want to get sick. If we go about thinking, I am healthy, I am strong, I am thankful for my health, I'm thankful for my family's health, that is putting in positive gratitude energy.
Looking at how loving people are being with each other, you know, I believe that's a more effective way of healing the world. Because again, what resists persists. So if you are in resistance to or struggling against something, that actually is reinforcing it to some extent. And we'll get into that a little bit more here too. Any other quick questions before we continue? No? Okay, feel free to jump in.
What
All right.
about detachment?
Attachment. Well, that's a good one. You know, I'm going to get into that now. So, and if I don't answer it, I'll come back to it. Remind me.
And someone has a question. My question is how to figure out what magic I want.
So only you know what works for you. Here's the thing. We're all on our own unique journeys. And I'm a big believer that we all have unique paths. And I think that Tantra can work for a lot of us, but even Tantra is so varied, it can do different ways. But I just, you know, maybe go outside in nature, you know, brainstorm, like actually do stream of consciousness, just write and see what comes out of your pen. Talk with people, you know, with someone that you can trust that's positive, that, you know, can support you in your dreams. You know, but, you know, explore, you know, tap into your little child. When you were a little kid, you didn't have any problem knowing what you want. It's just that society has like kind of beat it out of you probably. And I don't know, but we're taught as we get older to put our dreams aside that, you know, it's not reasonable. It's not, you know, probable, and that, you know, you're setting yourself up for failure, blah, blah, blah.
Or disappointment. So better not to want it all.
The key is some people believe you should just let go of desires in order to evolve. I believe our desires are what motivate us and what are fun. The key is to go after your desires without attachment. So the attachment piece is you don't want to be attached to the result, because then if you are, let's say it's time, like I want $1 million today. And if I don't get it today, then I'm like, damn it, it didn't work. This is all bullshit, you know, and then you get all, you turn it into a negative, right? And you start focusing on how it didn't work. Don't put timelines on your stuff. Just stay in the space and notice all the incremental changes that are happening. Notice all the mini miracles that are happening, and help to build your trust and your subconscious belief in it. And know that most of the time, the miracles I see coming true happen in a different way than we expect. You know, it's like, so if you don't be attached to what it looks like, don't be attached to how it comes into your life. So because the less attached you are, the more free you are to manifest your miracle in all sorts of different ways. You're actually opening up the exponential ways that it can happen. Yeah, so the key, I think, is to be in your desires and follow your passions without attachment to exactly what it looks like or the timing or whatnot. And that gives you the best freedom, and I think the best energetic signature to attract more of what will come, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's jump into feeling. So third thing is feeling. So this is a big thing. You know, we're not intellectual beings, we're feeling beings. You know, when I was a kid, I was a fan of Spock, you know, Star Trek. And because my dad was very in his head and intellectual, and he wasn't very good at showing his emotions. And I thought that's what a superior man did. And I said, well, Spock, he's stronger, he's smarter, you know, I just need to ignore my feelings and go with my brain. And in some ways, I was successful. I went through corporate America. I did all the things you're supposed to do to be successful, but I was miserable. And I realized in hindsight, many, many years later, that we're feeling beings. We're actually here to feel. You know, Captain Kirk had a lot more fun than Spock did, if you look back on Star Trek. It's like we want to actually experience and feel the emotions. That's what makes life rich and joyful. You know, the other thing, too, is that the more we practice the muscle of feeling, the more powerful it gets in both directions. So most of my life is happy, but also some of my life is sad. I mean, I experience all the emotions, and I think all the emotions are valid. All of them have a use. I think sometimes, though, we get stuck in or spend more time on the vibration of emotions that aren't as much fun as the higher emotions. But if I allow myself, let's say, to go a little sadder or even more angry or whatever it is that I'm feeling, and allow myself to fully feel that experience, my capacity to feel increases. And then when I'm able to go happier, I'm able to be even happier. I'm able to be more loving. I mean, more joyful. And it stays longer. So it's like for a little investment of 10% lower feeling that way, I have a 10% higher this way, but it's like for 90% more of my life. So my life goes like this, you know, it goes little dips, but it gets better and better and better. And so that's one advantage of feeling, is that we're here to feel. All the feelings can be joy, really. And the thing is that you need to clear out your system. The biggest thing that blocks people.
Not all my feelings are enjoyable.
Let's
say experienced.
Okay, experience. The key is that for most people that are starting Tantra, most of us have blocks. We have energetic blocks in our body. It could be fear, shame, guilt, trauma, or just about anything really. Any emotion that we don't express gets lodged and stuck in our bodies. And what happens is that blocks our energy flow. It blocks our receptivity. It interferes in our power and our ability to manifest miracles. So the courage really of Tantra, the hard work that Tantra takes is allowing yourself to go in and fully feel these emotions to free yourself of them. Because if you don't, I don't know any other way to really free yourself than through feeling your feelings. It's emotional release work, things like that. We do like weekends where, we bang pillows or do other things that help us release these things out of our body, out of our system, so that they never bother us again. Because we can kind of gloss over them and think they aren't there for a while, but they're usually still there. And sometimes they just build up, and they explode in inappropriate ways.
And it's not that you're releasing an emotion to never feel it again. It's more that you're, through all of these emotional release practices, we're learning to let go of pent up old emotions, experiences, and traumas that got stuck in our body, so that we can live life in the present tense, so that we can move through our emotions in present time without this big backlog that's attached to it that's going to explode with it at some point, and learn how to have a higher intelligence of how to navigate our emotions and express them and to feel them and to feel safe with it.
Yeah, it's just a little tip. A lot of people who are empathetic, who already are pretty tapped into people's emotions. I was not, by the way. I had to work at it, but I'm pretty good at it now. And what a lot of people do is they talk about energy shields and blocking themselves off and protect themselves. And that's great if that works for you. For me, I kind of have the reverse philosophy. I open myself up more so that I can fully feel whatever's coming through me, but I don't hold on to it. And I just let it move through me. And that way, when I feel someone, even if it's an uncomfortable emotion, it helps me understand them. It helps me, it gives me compassion for them. It helps me improve my experience of life. And suffering is a choice. Pain, discomfort, they might happen to you. They will happen to you as being in a human body. But I believe that suffering is like I'm stuck, or it's happening to me, or a victim mentality. Whereas I actually remember being an energetic being, choosing this human body to experience the full range of experiences and emotions. I think that we're here to experience what love is not. I think that we're here to experience all the uncomfortableness, the pain and suffering, so that we have that much more appreciation and enjoyment of love, which is our point, which is our purpose here. And you don't have to believe that, but I do encourage you to practice feeling your feelings and watch if your life doesn't get more rich and amazing. Okay, so there's two specific practices that you do for manifesting miracles that evolve around feeling. So the first one is, we already talked about it, is that when you're picturing as if it's already happened. Again, you want to get into the emotion of, you want to feel the feelings of, it has already occurred. So, whatever, just do this right now. Whatever you wrote down, just pick one thing that's something that you already wrote or discussed in your group, and picture that happening. Not as if it will happen, but if it's happening right now in your body. Put a smile on your face, breathe deeply. And this is important too, a smile helps. Your physiology matches your emotions. And then just imagine how great it feels. And maybe visualize it. Look around and see the room, or maybe you're outdoors on the beach or outside in the woods. Wherever you are, just look around, see who else is there. And imagine, what are people saying to you? Maybe they're saying how much they love you, or how amazing you are, or congratulations. If you want to add in like food, maybe you're eating something or drinking a Mai Tai, or whatever taste or smells. Maybe you're smelling flowers, fresh ocean breeze. Engage all of your senses. And then just from your heart, see if you can feel joy, gratitude, love. And this is what I call experientializing. It just, how awesome is it that you finally have this thing that you've wanted your whole life? And the more you can feel into that, the more excited about it. You see, your subconscious doesn't recognize this isn't real. And the more you can train your subconscious to believe it's already happened, the more you're going to quickly attract it to your life. So that's a visualization or experientialization exercise. So that's one thing. We'll do a little bit of that more later. This a second, and you can do this anytime, you know, when you have a few minutes, but not while driving. The second thing is transmute your sexual energy. What you want to do here is, this is again a very Tantra practice. We have something called the Cobra Breath that we teach in our weekend workshops that helps you really take your energy that's based on your creative energy in your sexual centers, your lower two chakras, and we move it up our body, and it helps clear out all the stuff that's in the way. It helps us open our heart and feel more, helps us express more and be fully evolved. It helps us see the future and become more psychic and whatnot. And it helps you manifest things. You know, it's like if the two big keys to manifesting miracles are training your brain or repetition or focus and emotions or energy, it's like this is the biggest, most powerful emotion, most powerful energy in your body is your sexual energy. So by using breath and visualization and so forth to move the energy up and down our spine, which we'll do a practice a little bit later to show you that, that helps awaken you. It helps create all these miracles, some of which will spontaneously manifest you didn't even think about. Some of the best things that happened in Tantra weren't even what I wanted, what I was choosing, but it's stuff that's magically manifests. It's better than anything I could have imagined. You want to say anything more about that?
I think you did a good job.
Okay, thank you. All right, so the last thing is be passionate about what you're here for. You know, one of the cool things I think about COVID is how people slow down, look within. They say, what is my purpose here? Like, what am I really here to do? You know, and I think it's important for you to be excited and passionate about what you manifest in the world, whatever your actions are, you know. So, you know, again, the more in tune you are with your passions and your desires and so forth, I think the happier you're going to be living them out. All right, any questions on feeling your feelings? I enjoy the questions you guys have so far. Can you read me? No.
Great
Okay.
point.
All right, last one is follow through. So we have faith, focus, feel, and follow through. Follow through is basically action, okay? And by the way, when I say action, there's a lot of different actions you can take. Meditation is an action, you know, visualization, experientialization. It's like, you might not look like you're doing anything, but many spiritual gurus and so forth tell me that like an hour of mentally meditating, fixing your brain, you know, getting your mindset right is worth at least 10 hours of action. Like if you don't get your mindset straight first, then you're going to be spinning off the different actions that are dictated by your subconscious or by your patterns. And your patterns like to repeat themselves. It's what our ego likes to keep us safe. So it wants to keep us doing the same thing over and over again to keep us in the same space. You know, I think it was Einstein's definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So if you actually want some of these desires or things in your life, you actually have to take different actions. You have to actually start feeling and thinking differently about your life if you actually want real change to happen. And it can be a little scary. I mean, change is one of the scariest things there is in the world, and that's what really takes courage. And it's also what I think most rewarding. And when you get into the habit of stretching your comfort zone, trying things that are outside your norm, to me, it adds like excitement and joy and can be really exciting. So get used to being uncomfortable, and then it becomes comfortable. Anyway, so the thing here I want to say is that it's not about just going out there and doing. That's kind of what I did before. It's about doing the one right inspired action. Like do something that you're really called to do. Like tap into your emotions. What is your body wisdom telling you? Like what is something I can do that is really going to forward my big vision? You know, it's almost like 10x thinking versus 1x. It's not about incremental change, but like if I was going to have a huge change, what would I need to do? Like, so when you're thinking about the how to get from point A to point B, think big, because the bigger the goal is, the more dramatic your changes are going to be, and the easier it'll be to get to even your other goals. So it's like you have to make your goals possible. If you really think they're impossible, they're not going to work. So over time, you got to train your brain. You have to at least think they're possible. They can be improbable. In fact, I prefer them to be improbable because otherwise they're not a miracle, right? Because, you know, and sometimes the impossible will happen. I'm just saying that while you're practicing this, you know, manifesting miracles is a practice, just like Tantra is. And so these are some practices that I want you to start incorporating. And so, but tap into your heart, and what does love tell you to do? What is the action that like really inspires you, that makes a difference for other people, makes a difference for yourself? And don't just keep spinning your wheels and doing what you used to do. And again, meditation, the busier my life gets now, the more I meditate, the more I slow down, because the more productive I really am. Because it's better to take one right action than 10 that don't really get you where you want to go. One other thing I'll say is fun with failure. You know, it's like so many of us are so concerned about failure. We're like, oh, I don't want to even try that because I might fail. You know, and we stop ourselves from going after it, which is, by the way, default failure. So it's like the very thing that we're afraid of, we already have. Like, you know, I've got a friend who's, like many of us, are intimidated by asking women out. I was like that. And it's like, well, if you don't ask her out, you're automatically rejected. You have no chance of going out with her. Whereas if you ask her out, then at least you're in the ballpark, you know. And the more I did it, because I was terrified of asking women out, and I had to like practice until rejection didn't bother me anymore. And then they become kind of a game. And then it's like, oh, now, you know, I don't take it personally. It's not rejection, it's redirection. And so when you're going through your goals and you maybe not getting the response you want from other people, don't take it personally. Everyone's on their own journey, and it's all perfect. But, you know, Buckminster Fuller, who's one of these personal development gurus, he said that the reason I'm so successful is that I just fail more often and quicker than my competitors. So it's like the key to success is failing quickly and often, and just learning from our mistakes and like having fun with it. So don't be afraid to dig out there. It's like a kid, you know, if you fell down while you're trying to walk, if you just stop and said, "I'll forget it. That was painful. I'm never going to try it again," you wouldn't get anywhere. But you got to get up and keep, you know, stumbling a few times till you get it. Because all of us start somewhere that is not necessarily where we want to be. Okay. And then 2 more things, and then we'll move on to actually practicing this stuff, is integrity. I just want to say follow through also is an important tool, is integrity. And I don't mean like right or wrong or moral and so forth. It's simply doing what you say you're going to do. And all the most successful people I know have good integrity, because it's necessary for trust. You know, it's like if you're a leader out there, if you want people to follow you, they have to believe that what you're going to say is true. And so if you say, "Hey, I'm going to call you tomorrow, I'm going to meet you at this time," you know, even if you're late or something, it helps, it erodes the trust that people have in you. And it's a practice like anything else. Like the people that I know that have the most integrity, they're always working to get better and better at it. And so just, it's a practice. And what the most important part of that isn't even integrity to other people, it's integrity with yourself. You have to have integrity with yourself to believe that you can actually achieve the things that you say you're going to do. So when you say, okay, for the next 30 days, I'm going to write down in my journal like 1 page of what I want or whatnot, then really hold yourself to that so you can trust yourself, because you have to build internal trust in your capabilities by having integrity with yourself if you're going to actually start being a powerful manifester out there in the world. So, and then the last one I'll say is it takes teamwork to make the dream work. Out of Legos. But the point is that team really does make a difference. I mean, look at this Tantra festival. You know, it's like a lot of us, I noticed, that we're scrambling, trying to figure out how do we reach people, and this, you know, with technology, because most of us are using these classes in person. And, you know, Eugene had the great ideas like, well, let's all combine forces and let's all, you know, work together as a team, and we are creating something pretty magical, I think, because we're leveraging each other's skills. We're like all working together with a common vision. It's like, and there's an energetic power in this too. You know, one of the reasons I really like in-person workshops with, you know, 20 or 50 or whatever people is that there's an energetic magic where you can tap into each other's magical energy fields, or it feels magical. And it's like it multiplies. The more energetic focus you have on something, it actually exponentially increases the intensity and power of it coming. So there's a big power in group and teamwork. Anyway, I think that's all I got for those things. Any last comments you want to make on any of this, or any questions that we had? It was a great time for Q&A. Did you read that?
It's tech writing notes. Everyone.
Oh, okay, great. All right.
Oh wait.
Question?
How does one discern obstacles which need to be crossed versus intuition telling us not to do something?
That's a good question. That's where feeling comes into play. I would trust my body and really feel into it. I mean, it's also good to get advice or coaching from people that actually have achieved it. be careful who you ask advice for. Like, I know people, like, if you're asking for money advice, go to someone who actually has a lot of money. If you're going to relationship advice, go to someone who actually has good relationships, because sometimes I know lots of people who are like self-created coaches, but they don't actually have the things that they're coaching other people in. So it's always good. I think Tony Robbins says this, is find the person who's best in the world at what you want and go get direct mentoring from them. But, you know, as far as obstacles and whatnot, it's a little tricky, because this is where clearing out your system is important. You want to make sure that you have a clear channel, that you've worked through a lot of your blocks, that you are practicing noticing what your patterns are and so forth. Because when you get good at this, you can say, oh, that's my pattern. That's my story or my programming that's having me react in this way, because we're really our own biggest obstacles. You know, the universe is unlimited, abundant. You know, it's everything we want out there. We're the only ones stopping ourselves from getting everything we want. And so that is the trick, is like, is this really my higher self speaking, or is it my limited, you know, pattern that's getting in the way? And it's through Tantra that really helps you discern those things with practice. And the more you practice it, the better you get at it. And yeah, we're all going to make mistakes. That's what living is about. But it's, but you know, the more I do Tantra, the more I'm clear that I'm actually in line with my higher self and what I'm supposed to be doing, versus being, you know, blocked by other people's opinions or my own private programming. So, and
I find that the more in alignment we are, the fewer obstacles there are. Like, some of the things that I thought was my purpose in the past, like I used to want to be a dog trainer, for example. Well, the universe put these big obstacles in my path towards that. No, 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 no. And I suppose I could have kept pushing through to like really become a dog trainer if that was really what I really desired. But then once I like explored other things to see, is that really what I desire? Let's see these other things. When I found Tantra, the universe, the way became clear. And while there's still challenges, I don't feel like there's roadblocks. Bam, 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 bam. So sometimes it's just finding that which is in alignment for you will have the fewest roadblocks and challenges.
Yeah, there's something called flow, or being in flow state, or stasis and so forth. Another book that talks about the stealing fire, which is really good. It's basically what you want to do is, if something's too, like if there's too many problems, like if you just like being stopped every step of the way, that's probably not your personal flow. So this is where you can either partner with someone who can maybe handle like the technology, for instance, for me, I'm not a big tech person, that's helping me supporting that. So I don't have to worry about it, and I can focus on what I enjoy. It's just talking to people, or, you know, coaching. So, you know, partner with people, but I forgot what I was going to say. Flow. So you want to be in flow. So if something is too difficult, if you just keep running up against it, it's too much of a struggle, you're probably not aligned with your higher self. But this is where body wisdom comes in. Listen to your heart. Listen, like, what does your gut say? Like, really feel into it. Don't just think about it. Don't logically say, oh, this is what I need to do because it's the way to make the most money. Feel into it. Say, is this something that really moves me? Am I passionate about this? Am I excited about it? Is this, you know, what is I'm being called to do? So yeah, that's how you distinguish. Good question. Any other questions?
Those are just notes. They're wonderful techie is writing.
Oh, great. Okay. All right, so let's all take a breath. Let out with a sigh. So we downloaded a lot of information. I know that was a lot, trying to get a lot in there. But we're going to give you just a few quick tools.
And I'll talk about that.
Yeah, and then we're going to do practice.
So we've talked a lot about Tantra. You're at a Tantra festival. You've probably heard this already. It may sound familiar, but some of our tantric tools that we use would be breath, movement, sound, mindfulness, being present and aware, and just energy. So like the direction and movement of subtle, sometimes not so subtle energies. So we're going to do a tantric meditation now, which we call a Gaia sets. It's what we use as our daily or regular tantra practice. It's an outline that can change from practice to practice based upon the little practices we drop into it. And we're going to start.
Before we do, so let me just explain what Guy Sets is. So we're going to send you, by the way, a link. He might already put that up, but actually we'll send this in a minute. And it's basically a Guy Set guide. So this is what it stands for. It's an acronym, is gratitude, acceptance, intention, activating the body, stilling the mind, energizing the body, transmuting it, and sending it out. I know that's a lot to remember, but with practice, it gets easier. And again, we'll send that to you. And so what's cool about that is that it's a structure that you can then plug and play different Tantra activities into. So there's an infinite number of like breath exercises and meditations and these things you could do. So you can find the ones that you like and put it into this structure. And then also if you get bored or you want to change it up, you can like make it dynamic and change it. And we found that this structure, and our teachers, it's one of the most powerful ways to incorporate a lot of these tantric tools together, which again are breath, movement, sound, touch, sexual energy, mindfulness. These are the tools, and you put them together in these fairly simple, easy ways. But when you do it, especially over time, very simple things can become really powerful over time. So when we're going to do this, we're just going to, Melanie's going to take you through this whole thing, and you don't need to worry about what exactly we're doing. But you can kind of keep that in the back of your mind. And afterwards, we'll give you a list of what we did. But yeah, does that make sense? So we're just going to, and by the way, I really want you to actually do what she's going to show you to do. And I'm going to follow with you.
It's way more powerful if you do it rather than if you just watch it.
Yeah, we can still see you at home. You're supposed to have your camera on, by the way, if you no, but you know, so actually follow through and practice this. This isn't just us talking. The only way you're going to know if Tantra works is by trying it out for yourself and seeing how you feel. So we invite you to go ahead and play along with this tantric practice our Guy Sets.
All right, so we're going to begin by sitting with our spine straight. You can sit or stand for this part, feet flat on the floor, and just feel yourself feeling grounded, connecting to your breath. Breathing from the pelvic floor up to your heart. Inhale to the heart, holding it there. Exhale with a sigh. Inhale to the heart.
Go ahead and vocalize. It's important.
Inhaling in through the nose. Hold at the heart. Exhale with a sigh.
Put a smile on your face through this whole process too. That'll help.
And as you breathe in gratitude into your heart space. So breathe in gratitude for some miracle that you wish to create in the world or for yourself. Breathing that gratitude in. I'm going to breathe in gratitude that the world is a connected place full of love. All these wonderful people in this entire festival, one world, connecting and feeling love for one another. Grateful that my honey is with me on this journey and purpose and path, and that I love him and he loves me so much.
Whatever you're grateful for, you feel into your body.
And as you breathe in, just fill your body, fill with gratitude.
It's important to smile. It opens up an energy channel in your body.
Grateful for being healthy. And then breathing in acceptance. Saying to myself as I breathe into my heart space, I forgive myself.
everything.
I accept myself just the way I am.
Go ahead and say that out loud. I forgive and accept myself exactly the way I am.
And I love myself. I love myself.
You are perfect.
And then setting an intention of the miracle you would like to create today, right now. My miracle is
So this can be the miracle that you were talking about earlier. Just pick one for the purpose of this and really feel it. It's already happened.
Beautiful. Now everybody stand up. So this is going to be a standing portion. And we're going to just shake it out. So we're awakening our bodies by shaking our bodies. Bouncing at the knee, loosening our bodies at the joints, letting our hands just flop about, shake about, letting our shoulders be loose and relaxed as we bounce. Our arms and hands are flopping about, shaking about. And we want to be able to shake our booties. We hold so much attention in our butts. We want to shake our asses out.
This is a great way to start the day, to get your all your energized, clear off stuff, change your state if you're in a funk.
You want to loosen your neck so you can allow your head to shake with your body as you're shaking your body out. You might even want to shake your hair out.
Stretch all those hard to reach places. Make some sound.
Shake the boobies out. Get those boobies involved.
Don't worry about what sounds you're making. Looking good out there. The more sound, by the way, you make, the more breath you have, the more energy you're moving through your body. So sound is a really powerful way of activating yourself. So go ahead and express yourself. Inspire the neighbors.
So breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth with sound.
Bouncing impacts your lymphatic system. Doing good.
You can even jump up and down some or jog in place.
You activate your facial muscles. Get them all in there. This might seem a little silly, but some serious stuff.
Shake it off with your partner if you're there with someone. You can close your eyes and just feel your body as you're shaking it. You want every part of your body to jiggle and wiggle.
You can also just dance if you want. Once you got everything awakened. You can also tap yourself. You tap your skull, or your face, or pat your booty, your body. You're waking yourself up. You're activating your energy throughout your whole body. Good.
And bring it into stillness. Feeling and noticing what you're experiencing. Just noticing any tingling, any sensations, any heat, coolness, movement of energy. Breathe deeply into your whole body, expanding your entire torso as you breathe in through the nose. Holding the breath, exhaling with a sigh. Feeling the emotion in your heart space.
Emotion inspires you, whether it's love or joy or gratitude. Imagine your miracle happening and just feel the emotional joy around it.
Putting a smile on your face is important. That actually opens a channel to the divine and a channel in your body for happiness and energy to pour out of it.
Again, focusing on your heart, feeling it in your heart, your emotion in your heart. How deep can you go? How joyful can you make yourself? How loving can you feel? How far can you open your heart? Let's keep going. You can feel that emotion, that love, that joy expanding out from your heart into the rest of your body and out into your aura, like it's a few inches outside your body. Feel it resonating throughout all of you and even outside of you. Feel your joy and love permeating every inch of your body with gratitude. Make sound. Let me hear you sigh.
Now stand with your feet shoulder width apart, knees slightly balanced.
Slightly bent.
Slightly bent.
And your toes facing forward.
And we're going to do some pelvic rocking our pelvis forward and backwards.
So it looks like this. We call this the pelvic pump. It's similar to the fire breath. You're expending your air as you're thrusting your hips forward. It's on the hips.
So we're breathing in and out through the mouth. It's a fire breath. We're breathing in when booty's back, out when booty goes forward. In and out through the mouth. Making sound on the exhale.
And then as a bonus, we're clenching our pelvic root on the exhale. It's an energetic lock. So what you sit on, your muscles, your PC muscles, which are your urethral sphincter, your anal sphincter, your perineum, your tank, you're clenching all that with your lower abdomen as you're exhaling. Make sure to make sound as you exhale. Very important. Let me hear you breathe. Smile helps. That's it. Keep going. A little faster, a little louder. ha, 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 ha. Almost there. Keep going. Ha, 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 ha. Almost there. Ha, ha, ha. Give everything you got. Ha, 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 ha. Feeling your sexual energy and screaming. Ha! Bringing that to a close.
And just feeling and noticing what you're feeling in your body.
And just close your eyes and notice what you're feeling. You're gonna bring the rocking to a close. Good. Now we're gonna take all that sexy energy and we're gonna transmute it through our bodies with Shakti Shiva Mudra.
So we're gonna use our hands. We're gonna draw our hands up our bodies to our heart as you breathe in. You're going to exhale, pushing your hands outwards away from your body. Inhale up to the heavens in a 10 and 2. Inhaling cosmic energy, gathering it and exhaling it down to the ground.
So you're passing the palms of your hand all the way up and down your chakras, or your spine.
Inhaling, lifting earth energy, Shakti energy up to the heart. Exhaling, releasing it back to the world.
In front of you.
Inhaling towards the heavens and breathing in cosmic energy.
With a smile.
Exhaling, we're drawing it down, passing that cosmic energy over our bodies and letting it connect back into the earth. So again, inhale up. Exhale out.
You can think about your miracle already being achieved.
Inhale up to the heavens. Exhale down.
Don't touch your hands just to keep the circuit alive.
And once more.
Smile and make sound.
And then stand there noticing what you're feeling, sensing, experiencing with your palms outwards and an open, receptive posture. We're going to continue breathing up to the heart space, from the earth up to our hearts as you inhale. Out our hearts to the world, allowing love and blessings to shoot out our hearts and our hands. Now we're inhaling that miracle into our bodies and exhaling it, releasing it to the world so that it may be.
So imagine the loved ones in your life that are also having a miracle that you wanted for yourself, if it was for yourself. Just imagine that miracle radiating and going out as a blessing for the people that you care about in your life. And just imagine them feeling your energy with a smile on their face and being touched by your blessing. And imagine it spreading to everyone at the Tantra Festival. Everyone at this festival is having the same miracle that you wish upon yourself. Just imagine the joy that you're spreading, love, gratitude. Now imagine that miracle happening to everyone on the planet. feel that all these people that are struggling or in turmoil are having this blessing for themselves or their equivalent. With your eyes closed, just feel your connection and oneness with all living beings on Mother Earth, on planet Gaia. Feel your energy as it comes through the earth, through you into your heart, and just goes out, out, out in a wave as it connects with every living being on Earth, every grain of sand down to the core, up into the atmosphere. We are connected to Mother Earth. She feels us as we feel her. And all the living beings living together in harmony. You can relax. A miracle is going to happen. And then slowly bring your attention and your awareness back to your country. Bring your energy and your presence back into your room. Bring your attention and presence back into your body in this time frame, this dimension, in the here and now. And just take a big breath together. Let out with a sigh. There you go. Namaste. And that was a Gaia set. And it took about 15 minutes. You can do this or something like it every day if you like. And the more you do it, the more impact it's going to get. Can you switch cameras? Great. So, I'm curious. Let's just hear from you guys. In fact, why don't we go in breakout rooms? So we're going to go into breakout rooms, and you're going to again be with 2 or 3 people, and you're just going to have like 5 minutes total where you can share what your experience has. So everyone have a chance to go, but just share. What are you feeling? What are you experiencing emotionally, sensationally? What basically, anything that you want to share. So we're go ahead and do breakout rooms, and you're just going to share whatever you want to share from this experience. How do you feel compared to when you started this? Like, has anything opened up, any insights, whatever you feel inspired to do? We're going to breakout rooms now. You have 5 minutes. Thank you.
Yes. I will restart the recording and I'll share the links now.
Great, thank you. All right. So welcome back, everybody. I think we're still filtering in, so just take a minute, take a breath, notice what you're experiencing. So again, what that was what we call a Gaia set experience. And the cool thing about this structure is you can make it really short. You can make it like a 2 or 5 minute version, or you can make it a couple of hours. You can change it up. You can make it very dynamic. You can incorporate your favorite exercises or yoga or whatever it is that you want to do. And what we're getting ready to send you is a link, I think it's up there now, of our Gaia set guide. And so if you guys want to play with this, explore, we encourage you to go out there and try it out for yourself. You can watch this as being recorded, so you can go back and re-watch this if you want. We also have lots of recordings on our website, which is ecstatichearts.com. We have a YouTube channel with a lot of free videos and stuff on our blog. But so check out ecstatichearts.com or look at the link we just sent you, and that actually shows you kind of the breakout of the different steps of what we just did. And then it gives you some examples of some breathing exercises, some meditations, some exercises you can do within that structure. If you aren't familiar with what some of those tantric practices are, the book we recommend, I think it says on there, is Jewel in the Lotus. That's one of kind of our textbook for one of the lineages, our primary lineage that we followed and got into Tantra with. And it basically is a great book that explains this stuff in more detail. Jewel in the Lotus by Bodhi Avanasha and Sunyata Saraswati. Again, I think it's on the document, the link there. And it walks you through and shows you a lot of these different exercises you can start incorporating into your life. And it's a lot of fun.
And also you can follow us on Facebook. Our page is Ecstatic Hearts. And we do host virtual events somewhat regularly these days, as well as in-person workshops when the world goes back to allowing in-person events again, which hopefully is soon.
Yeah, and because you guys are here and you're jumping into one of the first Tantra festivals out there online, and you're already courageous explorers, I want to give you guys a special gift. And so in addition to the Guy Set Guide, we have something coming up in August, on August 16th of this year, called the Prosperity Play Shop. So if you got some value or you enjoyed some of what we did, we're going to do that on an all-day experience where we're really going to take you into some really powerful practices. It's going to be both in person and online. So
hopefully in person.
Yeah, hopefully in person.
Online.
That's the plan. So, but it'll definitely be online no matter what. So if you're tuning in for this, what you can do is you can, it's going to be an all-day event. I think it's like 10 to 7 or something. I'll give you the details later, but it's going to be a really powerful process. We're taking our most powerful manifestation tools and our tantric tools that are a lot of fun, and we're showing you how to do it with a group, and we're going to be manifesting some more miracles. So so if you want more money, if you want more health, if you want more love, if you want just better sex, if you want a better spiritual connection with the divine, all this is possible and more. I mean, take what we've already shared with you and start playing with this stuff, putting it into your life, practicing it. Don't believe us just because we're saying it. Go try it out for yourself and see what little miracles or big miracles you can manifest. I say little because you got to notice the serendipity and the smaller things that are happening all around us. And the more I see these miracles, I call them winks of God, the more I see alignment with my higher wishes, the more I hear the same message over and over again. It's like, aha, that's the divine talk to me. So, pay attention to what's already amazingly happening to you and to everyone else around us. And then, practice that muscle and start manifesting all your desires and dreams, because you are divine. You are divine. You have the power and to have anything that you want. I really believe that. And so this class, it's normally $495, and you can do that if you like. If you want to be a VIP person, we give you extra coaching and other bonuses and so forth. But because you guys are here, we're giving it to you absolutely free. So, in part because of COVID and whatnot, but I wanted to do a special reward for the folks that are part of this festival. And so if you want to come spend a day with us, and this is live if you're in Austin, Texas area, or online, both of which can be free. But you need to go ahead and register. We sent you a link there, or go to our site, ecstatichearts.com. But there's a link right there in the chat box. And if you sign up before Sunday, you get the class for free. But we just need to know that you're committed, and there's a limited number of seats or a limited number of scholarships, we're calling them. So we want to make sure if you get one that you're actually serious about coming. But we want to continue spreading Tantra. This is our passion, our love. The reason we do this is because we see miracles happen in our friends' lives and in our lives almost every day, at least every week. And it's a really amazing way to live. So please, if you don't like us or what we taught, go check out someone else at the festival, but incorporate some of this Tantra stuff into your life, because it really pays off in an exponential way. Anything else you want to say before we do Q&A?
Oh yeah, stay tuned. If you go to our website and get on our mailing list, I am looking to do a virtual tantric date night series that are tantric practices for couples, which I've been really excited about for a while, and I think it's going to be coming out here in the next month or two. So that should be really fun and juicy.
Oh, and if you want something completely different, tomorrow, which I don't know what time zone you're in, but for us, it's Central Standard Time or Texas time. It's at 8:30 or 9:30 Eastern PM, or I forget what
they can find their time zones.
Yeah.
But we will be offering a tantric massage class. So stepping into the juicier, touch, embodiment-oriented piece of Tantra, I will show you all of my favorite practices. And believe me, touch is my love language, and massage is my favorite thing about Tantra out of everything, because it's just awesome. So come and join us for learning all of the juicy secrets that make a massage more tantric, and learn how to enjoy pleasure more and to give pleasure more.
And that one's from 8:30 to 10:30 Central Standard Time. Again, we don't do as much talking. Like, this was heavy on information. And that one's going to be almost all spiritual. We'll talk a little bit, but we'll be doing stuff the whole time. Yeah. And you're welcome to follow along.
You can enjoy just observing the demonstration, or you can bring your partner to actually participate at the same time.
Yeah. So that's us. That's what we got. It's been a real honor to be here. Thank you so much for trusting us with your time, your most valuable resource, and for being at this Tantra Festival and exploring just one of the many amazing things that are available for you.
And do we have any more questions? We have about 6 minutes left.
Yeah, just the last few minutes for any Q&A, anything at all. We'd love to answer questions.
Does one need a partner for the massage class?
No.
As I said, you can come and enjoy observing the demonstration, and you can practice on yourself, or you can bring a partner. But lots of times people learn things just from watching and practicing on yourself, and then when you have a partner, you've got it in your mind to practice with them.
Yeah, so it'd be a great date night if you want to bring someone over. You're willing to interact with another person, but it's not by any means necessary. You know, by the way, when I started Tantra, I started all by myself. I didn't have a partner. I wasn't dating anyone. In fact, I didn't know really how to date people very well. So Tantra actually gave me the skills to attract the love of my life. It's like, it really enabled me to learn how to be more connected with my body, my desires, how to communicate better, how to, just a lot of things. So if you're by yourself, please explore this stuff. It doesn't matter. It's certainly more fun, I think, to have someone doing the massage class with you. But yeah, by all means, come by yourself if you like. Learn the skills. And bring
Any other questions?
Yeah. Any other questions, comments, anything at all before we'll let you out of here a few minutes early. But this is your chance. Ask us anything. We're transparent, open books. Going once, going twice. Any last questions? Just type them in. Oh, what does it say? Can you read it?
That's not a question.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, guys, thank you again so much for being here. Again, this is going to be recorded for the next 30 days, as is the massage class tomorrow.
We do have one question.
One more question. Yeah.
All right. Someone's asking us who our most influential teachers were and what the lineage of our teachings are.
You want to talk about lineage?
Well, we have quite a few influential teachers, as we've learned from quite a few people. But the teachers whom we first learned from are definitely the people who were most influential for us. And Scott mentioned earlier the book Jewel in the Lotus by Bodhi Avanasha. Bodhi Avanasha was one of our first teachers. It was Scott's first teacher. And she was one of our first mentors in teaching us how to be teachers for Tantra. And her lineage of Tantra is called Ipsalu Tantra. And there were some other teachers who co-created that with her, Richard and Antoinette Asimos, and they broke off and created Tantra Heart, and they have been longtime mentors for us as well. And pretty much all of our most influential teachers are in the 70 to 80s range right now. Yeah. So everybody we learned from were actually retired at the time.
Yeah, or they'd be the
but they came out of retirement to teach us and to pass on their work. So they're not actually people who are around teaching anymore that you can go and learn from anymore because they've completely retired. But yeah.
It's that lineage is Babaji Nagaraj. And
that's the guru who taught some of the key practices that have been passed down to us.
We also, you know, we got involved with Eugene Hedlund and learned kind of the more Neo-Tantra.
Yeah, we've studied with him as well.
And
Sasha Lessons.
Sasha and Janet Lessons or some other folks. And basically, I was in personal development type stuff for many years before I even got into Tantra. I was also with Lama Ole, who teaches Buddhism. And all these things kind of stack on top of each other. In fact, a lot of the stuff in personal development is also equally applicable and is part of Tantra lineages and stuff too. So, you know, and we're always learning. I mean, that's why we're here at this festival. We're looking at these classes just as much as you guys are, but I think we never stop learning. Everyone has a unique path, and just do what you're called to do, you know, follow or learn from whoever inspires you, you know, that you feel a connection with. And yeah, so and I think, yeah, our best teachers are probably ourselves, you know, just by exploring and just diving into the deep end and seeing what's there, fully feeling our feelings and seeing what's on the other side.
Yeah.
So, okay. Anything else?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll close here then. Thank you so much, guys. Again, thank you so much for giving us this opportunity and for being here. And namaste. The divine within me
Namaste.
sees the divine within you.
Thank you.
Enjoy the festival.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the wonderful session. This was a privilege. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Bye-bye.